Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat. I am here today with Jake, Body by Jake. Steinfeld is the fitness industry's reigning icon. Creating the personal fitness training industry over 40 years ago, Jake has been the guiding light for health and wellness in lifestyle, sports, and entertainment ever since. He is launching his new daily complete nutrition shake line, Don't Quit, August 1st, 2020. Jake was the dominant force in direct consumer sales of home fitness equipment for over a decade. Utilizing his entrepreneurial street smarts, Jake created the first 24-hour fitness lifestyle network, Fit TV, which he later sold to News Corp. Then Jake launched Exercise TV, the first on-demand fitness television network with partners Comcast and Time Warner. Jake recently launched a new health and fitness platform called Get Fit, Don't Quit. That's kind of catchy. In partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona. Its mission is to create short-form programming to motivate, educate, and inspire all Arizonians to achieve a don't quit lifestyle. Jake is a New York Times and Wall Street Journal best-selling author. He is also an avid television and film producer. His current feature, The Grizzlies, is an inspiring true story which he found and turned into a film. Teaming with Universal Music Enterprises, a division of Universal Music Group, UME, Jake formed a fresh, inventive label called Body by Jake Music. These super compilations feature the hottest artists, producers, and DJs. Jake's business acumen extended to the world of sports through his founding of Major League Lacrosse, the nation's first professional outdoor lacrosse league, and the World Series of Youth Lacrosse presented by the Coca-Cola Company. It's a global event which provides U13 youth players the ultimate lacrosse experience. He became chairman of the California Governor's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports for California under Governors Schwarzenegger and Brown, following that he was named chairman of the National Foundation for Governors Fitness Councils. Focused on his belief that academics and fitness go hand in hand, the NFGFC has already dedicated Don't Quit fitness centers in 32 states. In 2020, recipients include Alabama, Indiana, Kentucky, and Oklahoma, with the goal of rewarding Don't Quit fitness centers to every state in the USA. Today, we have fitness legend and icon, Body by Jake. I was beyond honored and thrilled to have him on the podcast. He's from the old school of ingenuity and showing you how to do things, getting in there, putting some elbow grease into it, and some believing in yourself. Failure is not death, he says. And also, I love how he left every show with, it's when your heart is hit that you must not quit. And his new brand, Don't Quit, so fitting of a legend like Jake. He is the reason why we have such a huge personal training industry today. He started it all. And also Fit TV and Exercise TV, all his brainchild. So many stories today. You guys are going to leave with so many takeaways. He even talked about, I love his story about how he got started into fitness. And he had like posters of Alice Cooper and all these people up on the wall. And it reminded me of meeting Alice Cooper when I was a teen. We went to the haunted house Q102 and Alice Cooper was there. And I, being a bratty 13-year-old, pulled his hair. I guess I wanted to know if it was real or not. And I remember him saying it was real. Ow, listen, sister, I don't pull your hair, don't pull mine. And I'm like, oh my God, it is real hair. It's really Alice Cooper. I think I thought, he's just some guy with a costume. So, oh my gosh, so many takeaways. Thinking of all Body by Jake stories made me come up with another episode of all the stories that I have surrounding how I got into fitness and where I am today. So without further ado, we are going to jump into this episode. So many golden nuggets. You're going to want to put it on repeat. Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat. I am here today with Body by Jake, the infamous Jake Steinfeld, who founded, basically, I want to call you like the godfather of personal training, and also like just such an icon and a legend. I mean, I think I cut my teeth on your exercise videos and doing exercises with you, well, virtually. And also, I know you created like Fit TV. I mean, like, wow, that's like amazing to me that you came up with all these ideas and you were the first. And also exercise TV, exercise on demand, and so many other things. And I cannot wait to introduce you to my audience today, because they're going to get so many lessons. They're going to go to school today. This is the old school. You can't get these lessons in college that Jake is going to teach us today. So without further ado, I want to introduce the one, the only Body by Jake.
Wow, Linda, thank you very much. My goodness, what a beautiful introduction. You look terrific, and I'm so psyched to be here, hang out with you a little bit. And you're in Hawaii, you're in Ohio, I'm in LA. So hey to all your fans out there, and I look forward to a lively conversation.
Yeah, well, it's going to be lively. I really had to do some listening to you. And of course, I had Coach Todd Durkin on recently, and I listened to you on his episode, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to get this guy on my show, because your personality, first of all, I think is magnetic. And how did that play into the role of you developing this huge fitness empire?
Well, first of all, thank you. And I think, like anything else, I don't think I know, we've learned personality is everything. I mean, I'll tell you some stories, but for all the people in your universe and everybody you talk to and reach out to and educate, we are all brands. We're all a product. And no matter what it is you're selling, people have to buy you first. And if they don't buy you, no matter what you've got, they're not going to buy. So it really begins and ends with you, and you having to be your own product. Your personality is really everything. We'll talk fitness, right? In the fitness industry, exercise is boring, Linda. It really is. I mean, by the way, if it wasn't, everybody would be in great shape, right? There'd be no need for personal trainers. There'd be no need for anything, because we'd all look great and be on our merry ways, but that's never the case. So personality is super important. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I'll take you back to the beginning of time when, I was an overweight kid. I had a bad stutter growing up. Didn't have much confidence or self-esteem. Having a stutter is something that even today, when you look at the gentleman who's running for president, Joe Biden, who
Right.
grew up with a very bad stutter. And it's something that stutterers know each other, right? It's an affliction that, interestingly enough, today, everything being so politically correct, it's the only sort of thing that you can still make fun of and people laugh about, which is really kind of sad, because stuttering is not something to be made fun of. And you can tell, I watch the debates, and when you see Joe, when his eyes flutter a little bit, and let me tell you this, people who stutter know, I knew growing up, the worst thing in the world for me in third or fourth grade, I knew how to read, Linda, but when you have a stutter, it's your mind is moving too quick, right? So the words kind of crash into each other like two trains crashing into each other. And the worst thing for me was when my teacher would say, Miss Worth, third grade, I'll never forget it, would say, okay, everyone, we're going to take a paragraph and we're going to read out loud. We're going to go up and down, the the rows, and I would count to see how many paragraphs, and I count the paragraphs and try to memorize the paragraph because I knew if I would stand up, I was so nervous that, when you speak, I've learned, speak from your diaphragm, which is right in here, right? But when you get nervous, you speak from your throat and things get tight. And my goodness, man, when I would stand up to speak, it was like, I would rather jump off the Empire State Building, and think I would survive better than standing up in class and reading because, your friends make fun and you got more nervous. And for me, my dad bought me a set of weights at 13 years old and it changed my life. Because not only did the weights build my body, but it built my confidence and self-esteem. And it was one of those moments. I'll give you a second on it. I was never much of a student. So, if I got a 75 on a test, my mom would take me to the ice cream store to get ice cream. That's 75 Carvel's. I don't know if you know Carvel, but there's an East Coast, man, the brown bonnet. Oh my goodness, the chocolate dip, boom, this way. The best in the world. And I used to study. I tried to study. Now, being from the East Coast, I'm the oldest of four. I lived in the basement. Very cool to live in the basement. I'm 62 now. So back in the day, I had my Jimi Hendrix poster on one wall. I had my Alice Cooper poster on the other wall. And two other walls, I had Willis Reed from the New York Knicks or Mickey Mantle from the New York Yankees. And I used to love to listen to Frank Sinatra as I did it my way. I was a challenged little dude, man. And when my dad, one day in the summer, called me out into the backyard to say there was a weight bench set up there. And he said, come on, let's do some bench pressing. I kind of looked down at my Twinkies, and I said, nah, this is not what's something for me. And he would only ask you to do something once, and that was it. And they sat all summer. And by the end of the summer, my dad said, bring the weights inside. So I put them in the laundry room, which was right opposite of my bedroom door. Now, that weight bench and that barbell stuck out every single day. I never noticed it. But I'm a big believer in life is about moments, Linda. And, some moments are great. Some moments are not so great. We all deal with them. And it's how you deal with moments, which makes up your life. And this was one of those moments where I'm doing my homework. I'm trying to memorize things. I'm trying to, highlight what the important stuff is. And I'm highlighting everything. And I start daydreaming like I've always done. And I look outside of my bedroom door and there's that barbell, which I had seen a million times before. But this moment, I got up, grabbed the barbell, put it on top of my ottoman, had this little skinny mirror behind my bedroom door that I put on top of the ottoman. Like I said, I used to love to listen to Frank Sinatra as I did it my way. At the end of Frank's album, there's this wild applause for Frank Sinatra, Linda, right? So I queued up the applause for Frank. Oh, by the way, let me just give you a visual. I had my tank top on with my stomach hanging over my underpants, right? I had an afro and I had braces. It was a great look.
I love it.
Very, very appealing, I must admit. There I was. I queued up the applause for Frank. I put on my headset like the ones you have on now, except they're thicker, right? Looking in the mirror, and there was Jake Steinfeld doing his bicep curls in front of 50,000 screaming fans.
Oh my God, I love it. You visualized it already.
That's what I did. And immediately the weights and I connected and I started feeling better about myself. And I stood up a little bit straighter and I had this confidence and my self-esteem was coming. And my parents were great because when the principal got them into a room and said, we need to put your son in, room 222, which was a room for the kids who were challenged. My parents said, no, keep them in the regular rooms. And it was the best thing. I had, I'm so thankful they did that for me. And I had this dream that I wanted to become Mr. America. That was it. That was it, Linda. I mean, I played sports. I love basketball. I'll tell you a story about that in a minute. But my goal in life was to become Mr. America. So I go to college, right? I'm the first one in my family to ever go to college. My parents never went there. Parents never went. I'm the oldest of four. I go to college upstate New York, Cornell University.
Right.
Yeah, I went to Cortland down the street, which, a little bit different school, but very nice, where it snowed every day up there.
Every day.
Every day. So it's not too conducive to walk around in your gold lame posing trunks in 18 inches of snow. So I always had this dream, and we think about this. We all have dreams. Everybody, you, me,
right.
Our kids, all of your listeners, all the people who are watching, everyone has a dream. But sometimes to make that dream, to bring that dream out, you get nervous because depending on who you're sharing it with, sometimes it's the people closest to you seem to be the most negative about it. And it could be a couple of reasons. One, they don't want to see you get hurt. Or two, like your friends sometimes, they think, wait a second, if Linda is going to be successful, that means that there's a chance that I might not be successful because there's not enough success to go around, which we've learned, and I learned, and we talk a lot about today, is success breeds success. You want to be around successful people. Well, I'll never forget this moment. My mom used to call every day in college, and I'm there for about 3 months now. She wants to check in and see how poli-sci is doing, my English classes. And I finally get up enough courage, take a deep breath, and I say, Ma, I'm going to go to California to become a bodybuilder. Silence on the phone, Linda.
I can imagine. My son's name is Jake as well.
Is it? I love it. Must be an awesome human. And all of a sudden, I hear Herbie, which was my dad's name. Pick up the phone and talk to your kid. Come on, yours too? Get out of here.
Herb. We called him Dr. Herb or Herbie.
Come on. This is crazy. Well, I'll only tell you this is that my mom said, pick up the phone and talk to your kid. I'm putting my head in the oven. And the bus ride from upstate New York to Baldwin, Long Island, felt like I was going to the moon. That's how long that bus ride felt. And when I got there, we had the conversation as I expected. My dad, mom said, look, get it out of your system, go to LA, come back, your bed will be made for you. You go to college again. My friends all said, I had a girlfriend, you're never going to make it. Come on, you were a fat guy. And I made the trek and went to Los Angeles, summer 1977. So if you're all in the bodybuilding world, that was the time when the dinosaurs still roamed the earth. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Louis Ferrigno, Robbie Robinson, all the big bodybuilders, right? Pumping Iron had just come out. That was like my Gone with the Wind. I mean, that was.
I could so relate.
That was it for me. And I'm now I'm training with all these guys. Now I'm 18 years old, Linda. I'm 18. I left my friends. I left my family. I enter in 1978, a year later, the Mr. Southern California contest. I come in second place. The guy that beat me was on steroids. Wait a second. I read all the muscle magazines. They just said eat 18 eggs and 24 chickens a day, and you too could become Mr. America. I clucked a lot, but it didn't happen because nobody mentioned steroids.
Right.
And it was a thing where, once again, life's about moments. Now you have your son. I have 4 kids, and we've always talked. My wife Tracy and I, we've been married almost 32 years.
Okay, you're gonna freak. My husband's name is Tracy.
Get out of here, Linda. I'm closing this now. I'm hanging up on you. Are you? Come on, seriously?
Serious.
Wait a second.
Oh my God, This is too funny.
Is
All
this
right.
is this my cousin Linda I'm talking to?
It must be.
It must be. Linda, let's stop the story. Tell me about you. What's going on? I mean, I got a good story, but wait a second. So your husband is Tracy. My wife is Tracy. Your son is Jake.
Yep.
I'm Jake.
Yep.
My dad is Herb, and your dad is Herb.
Yep.
Please don't tell me your mother's name is Joy, because I'm hanging the phone up.
No, we finally got out of the loop there.
Okay. That's ludicrous. That's incredible.
That's so funny.
That's
All
so funny.
Sorry to interrupt your story.
Well, that's a great interruption. But we talk to our kids, like I'm sure you talk to yours, about decision making. And even since they were little, we talked about if you have to think about something too long and too hard, it's probably something you shouldn't be doing. And I made the decision not to take steroids because, very simply, I was afraid. I was afraid to put a needle in my own battissimo. I mean, in fourth and fifth grade, we had the nurse would give those TB tests, where they would take your forearm and do a little boop like that. I'd faint at that, let alone having to put a needle in my own battissimo. So I had to make a decision. Here I am in LA. I left college. I left my friends and my family, a girlfriend. Everyone said, you're not going to make it. You're going to be back. And I made this decision to say, okay, I'm not going to become Mr. America because you can't if you don't take steroids. But I love working out and I love what it did for me. And I love how I felt when I exercised. So I didn't know how I was going to make any money, but I love the fact that I love how I felt. And I said, I'm going to stay here, and whatever I have to do, this is where I'm going to make my home. And I have to be honest, Linda, right place, right time. I never had a plan. There was never a business plan. And life is about moments, as we say during these conversations and decisions. And, success is failure turned inside out. It's a true story, right? One door closes, slams you in the face. When you have passion and you have love for something, you can go through walls and go through doors and go through whatever it takes to achieve something. And for me, it was the love of working out. It was how I felt when I was training. And it's not about, it was about having big muscles, but it was how my mind felt too. It was clear. It was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So one day, I'm living in Studio City, California. I'm sitting at my apartment complex, catching rays, what every good musclehead does. You work, you work out in the morning, you catch rays during the day, and at night you bounce in a bar. And that's what I did. And this one day, this actress who I had known from the apartment complex came over and said, I see you here all the time. I like you, but I don't want to look like you. Can I ask you a question? I said, well, that's an interesting way to start a conversation. But okay, she says, I've got a Club Med commercial I've got to do. I've got 6 weeks to get in shape. And I got to wear a bikini and I just don't feel comfortable. Do you think you might be able to help me out with a workout? And I thought, yeah, sure. Now just to give you a frame of time, it's 1979, maybe the top of 1980. Jane Fonda had just come on the scene.
My favorite.
Right? Okay. She's awesome with the high impact aerobics, right? And you can attest to this, Linda, and I'm sure a lot of your fans and followers, back in the day, women were very intimidated by using weights because they didn't want to get big muscles. So I decided, she said, could you help me out? I said, okay, no problem. And she said, okay, how much is the workout going to cost? I said, I don't know. Give me gas money for my 1977 white Camaro, which I had Jake 77 on the license plate. Always kept a very low profile. So it's important for all the entrepreneurs out there, low profile. So, what I did was have this conversation. She said, could you come to my boyfriend's house and do the workout there? I said, no problem. So I came up with this 30-minute workout. I love going to the gym. I was never one of these gym rats. I didn't like hanging out in the gym after my workout. So I came up with this 30-minute workout using truly a broomstick, a towel, and a chair, and 2 cans of Mama's tomato paste. The towel was for resistance training, right? If I were to give you a towel, Linda, and say, let's do some bicep curls. I'm going to pull down and you pull up. I can put a whole lot more resistance pulling up and down with you than is if I were to hand you two 15-pound dumbbells that you would think, wait, Jake, two 15s or two 20s, that's too much. But it's a smooth, nice, easy going resistance, and we can get the body moving, and the muscles are going to be right. We're going to attack the muscles, grow the muscle, all using a broomstick towel, 2 cans of Mama's tomato paste, and a chair. And I went to this house in Beverly Hills, knocked on the door, and if you weren't on the cover of Musclehead Digest, I didn't know who you were. Guy answers the door, turns out to be Francis Ford Coppola. And I thought to myself, hey, wait a second, this guy could use a workout too, maybe, you know? And I started training this girl, and she was great and responded in an incredible way. They started going to parties, and people started saying, you look terrific. What are you doing? This guy, Jake, comes to my house. He's got a broomstick, a towel, and a chair. You know, he's pretty funny. He eats too much. Well, they had a great refrigerator. I had no dough, and they had a great fridge. I'm just telling you, Linda.
That was the perks of the job, right?
It was a great perk. And people started saying, what a great idea. What's his phone number? Now, there was no cell phones back then. This is 1979, right? So when you moved, you had to list your phone number in the phone book. Well, I went from upstate New York, and I had never listed my phone number in LA, which turned out to be the best thing I never did, because in Hollywood, if you're good and people want to get a hold of you and they can't, they seem to want more, right? And it became this mystique of, who is this guy? You got to get him. Now I'm getting phone calls in my little apartment in Studio City on my little answering machine.
I love it.
From Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford and Priscilla Presley and Bette Midler and Warren Beatty and Barbara Streisand and all these great people. I get to hang, I travel with them. I train Harrison for Temple of Doom and all. I mean, this is what my life became. All of a sudden, I'm a guy from going from upstate New York, right, to traveling on private planes to train the most famous Hollywood stars in the world. And I learned this most amazing lesson. They're just like us. The only difference is they had a dream, and they never quit on their dream and never, ever, ever took no for an answer, Linda. And that gave me all the incentive in the world to say to myself, wait a second, I might never direct ET2, but I'm going to have my own successes in life.
Right.
And I was able to parlay that famous by association into videos and books and television shows. The great Ted Turner gave me my start doing the fitness break on cable news network. And became a great mentor to me. I mean, this was college times 20,000, right? I was living this. You can't learn this stuff from a book. When you live it and you get to experience people and you see everybody has flaws, everyone has weaknesses, everyone has great attributes. And I learned how to do things. I learned how not to do things. And I just kept saying to myself, look, you got to keep taking shots. I've had tremendous success in my life, but I had massive failures too, like everybody does.
Right.
And the thing you learn about life, and you hear it from a million different people, it's everyone's going to get knocked down. It's how you get back up. It's truly how you get back up, because failure is failing. Failure is not death, right? Death is death.
I love that.
You know, when the director yells cut, then the show is over. You hope, God willing, everything is in good places. But in life, look, it's always the person with the C average, high is the person with the A average. Because the person with the A average is so smart, they think of the 9,133 reasons why something is not going to work, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to someone like myself going, hey, I had this dream to create the first fitness television network, the first linear fitness television network called Fit TV, which I launched in '93. I looked at the original headline news that Ted Turner created, right? And I said, that's what a television network, a fitness television network could look like. And I just kept parlaying off of that. And I got into the infomercial business. home shopping for 17 years, all these different adventures. I acted in about 30 different movies and had my own television sitcom, and I never trained as an actor. Don't critique me now, please. Thank you very
Weren't
much.
you up for an Emmy though, or something? Or
Oh, please. No, I would. Yeah. Come on now. Thank you very much. Well, maybe if you put me up
weren't
for
you
the Emmy.
a cab driver in a movie?
I was. I was the cab driver in Coming to America, which, I've done so many things in my career. More people stop me for that, right? And it's the most hysterical thing in the world, that because it's seen around the world 200 times a year. But I've had the greatest experiences and continue to, because you just take shots. You teach your kids that about it, like in sports. It's in the gym. It's about repetition, right? In
Yeah.
order to get your muscles strong, you got to do repetitions. So the more reps you do, the stronger your body gets. The more chances you take in life, the more opportunities you make for yourself. And that's the thing, whether it's in fitness or being a good mom or a good dad, or a good teacher or a good coach. And a big thing for me too is giving back. And if you remember, as a kid, I had this bad stutter, and what working out did for me, I always thought that when I made it one day, I'm going to be able to give back, and I want to put fitness centers in elementary and middle schools around the country. And I became chair of the National Foundation for Governors Fitness Councils. This is my 8th year. Before that, I was chair of the Fitness Council with my friend Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was governor here in California, which was a great honor. And then a year with Jerry Brown. And now I've been doing this position as chair of the National Foundation for Governors Fitness Councils. And my mission is very simple. I want to put as many fitness centers and elementary and middle schools in this great country of ours as humanly possible. And I couldn't have done it without partnerships with companies like Coca-Cola, Anthem, Nike, Wheels Up. But the mission is simple. I've done 36 states now. As a matter of fact, each year I choose 4 states. I call governors cold. I don't know the governors. I've got $300,000 of brand new fitness equipment. And when I reached the governor's office, and I did Ohio when John Kasich was the governor there, a terrific man. And I said, look, we want to work with your administration to identify schools that are showing innovation in fitness and nutrition. And it's a gift. So when we put this fitness center in a school, it's literally, it becomes the hub of the community, Linda. And it's great to see, because test scores go up, gang violence is down, teenage pregnancy is down, community comes together. And normally I would be on the road right now, but because of the pandemic, we did a virtual ribbon cutting tour. So we just finished it this year. I was with Governor Kay Ivey in Alabama, Andy Beshear in Kentucky, Kevin Stitt in Oklahoma, and Eric Holcomb in Indiana. And we just edited the shows together. It's super cool. And we did a virtual ribbon cutting tour special. And normally, as I said, I would be on the road, and I get high from visiting these places, whether it's inner city or rural. And the news is, we read the news, it's always crummy. And I'm here to attest that this country is awesome. And the people in this country, I love to shine a spotlight on people who don't get the spotlight shined on them, because they're amazing. People who have so little, who do so much with so little, and care so much, whether it's teachers, administrators, moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, and aunts and uncles, come together in communities. I get the chills when I say it. It just gets me fired up.
I love it, because it's really when your reward is when you are giving, you get so much reward back. I really believe happiness comes from helping others.
100%, and that's the thing. And I think when I always tell people I'm a bad taker, I'm a much better giver, and it feels great when you can see people's faces. I mean, listen, Linda, I'm sure in your neck of the woods, you can, hit a gym every other block, or a yoga studio, or the places that we go. There's not a fitness center or a studio within 30 miles They get their fresh fruits and vegetables from a convenience store. So this fitness center, this $100,000 brand new Don't Quit Fitness Center,
This is
becomes
awesome.
the hub of the community, and it's tremendous. You can go to natgovfit.org and see the work that the foundation does. But it's like I said, I've done 36 states, and it's super, super exciting.
I love that. So good. So great. How can people help you or support you in that endeavor?
Oh my gosh, just be great. We don't know what states we're going to next year, but when we do make the announcement, if you're in those states, you'll send a video of why your school deserves a brand new $100,000 Don't Quit Fitness Center, and that's really all that's all about. This is a gift. It's not a grant. Grants are what governments deal in. We're in the gift giving business. Like when you go to your grandma's house, you get a gift. Grandma doesn't ever ask you for anything in return. Just maybe give me a kiss, or something like that. But that's what this is really all about. And this isn't a Democrat or Republican issue. This is a kid's issue. And I think, as we know as parents, and you probably have a lot of folks who are moms and dads that listen, we need to leave this place better than we got it, Linda. It's really important.
Leave a legacy
for our kids. And, it's important that we do that. It really is. It really is.
How did you ever get started with this Don't Quit? You said it at the end of every show. Can you give us just a sound bite?
I'll give you more than a sound bite. So I went out for my 8th grade basketball team. When I started working out, I started feeling good. I was a damn great basketball player because, my mom said, honey, you're a great basketball player. And I believed her. So I went out for my 8th grade team, and I wasn't all that great, you see. So I got cut from the team, and it was pretty devastating. We all got cut from something. We all got left out of something. And once again, how you get back up. And here in this point in time, a friend gave me a poem called Don't Quit. Now I'm 14 years old. I'm not a student. I'm sure as heck not a poet. And I could have easily have just taken the poem. It was on a plaque and tossed it away, but I didn't. As a matter of fact, the poem, which I keep on my desk, this is it, Linda. This truly is the poem. Look at the back of this. This is I'm 62 now. I got this. I was 14 years old. You can't even see Don't Quit anymore. And the last 2 lines of the poem are: stick to the fight when your hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit. And I read that and I read the whole poem, and it became a Bible verse to me. And in 1981, I actually trademarked the words "Don't Quit." And I've had, look, my sign off every show I've ever done is "Don't quit, stick to the fight," right? I do that. Subtitles of my books were "Don't quit." But I never found something that I wanted to put "Don't Quit" on as its own brand. And interestingly enough, in life, I've gotten involved in so many different things, like we talked about, whether it's film and television and the infomercial business, books and videos, home shopping. I did a one-man show in Las Vegas a few years back, which was really cool. The MGM Grand, the Hollywood Theater. I had a dream to take that shot. That was exciting. Oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. But 2 years ago, I had an interesting meeting with a guy out here in LA. His name is Danny Stepper, has a company called LA Libations. And think about Silicon Valley for a second, where it's the world of tech and tech incubators. Well, this guy has a beverage incubator. And I had been investing in beverages and doing a number of things and had some pretty good luck. So people thought I knew what I was talking about in beverage. So I saw every beverage deal coming. I had a couple that I was playing around with, and I got hooked up from some friends to meet this guy who's like the Steve Jobs of beverage. And I went to visit with him. I had my 2 CEOs ready to pitch. He had no interest in either of them. And instead of getting up and walking out, we started telling some stories. And I had mentioned to him that, I own the trademark to the words "don't quit." And this is really interesting, Linda, right? When one door closes, something else opens. My big belief is, when someone tells you no, it's only halfway to yes.
I
Right?
love that. Yeah.
And here we were telling a story. He went nuts. He goes, "Wait a second, dude. You own the trademark to "don't quit." He said, "Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of the brands Boost and Ensure?" Now, we're talking about this adult nutrition category, right? Where there are only two brands, he said. It's a stuffy stuff that if you ever seen the ingredient panel on Boost and Ensure, it's crap. He said, if you can read the first five ingredients, you should do this as a contest with some of your listeners and followers. If they can read the ingredient panel on Boost and Ensure, the first 5 or 6, I'll give them a case of "don't quit." That true story, I will do that. But what he started telling me was how this category is exploding. There are 110 million Americans over the age of 50. I'm 62 now. So if you and I were growing up hanging out together and you said, "Jake, how old's your dad?" And if I would have said 62, we would have both been like, "Ooh, man, he's an old guy," right? But I feel like I'm 21, and people our age, you're a whole lot younger than me, but when you're 50 years old, it's a whole different feeling now, right? There's a whole lot of living left to do. And how many people do you see in a gym or taking a walk with a bottle of Booster and Shore? So I'm thinking and listening about all this. And I said, "Hey, here's what I'm interested in, is if we can create a product that has a clean label, which means no soy, no corn, no wheat, no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners, gluten-free, kosher, all that. But here's the main thing. It's got to be delicious." Because I have been a protein shake guy since I'm 14 years old. They've always tasted crummy. I never took vitamins. I never took supplements. And I don't. They were always expensive to me. It was cumbersome. What do you take? How much do you take? What if we put it all in a protein shake? 26 vitamins and minerals, right? So we came up with this plan. We went after it. Hence, we launched "Don't Quit." Now, I'm going to show you something, right? This is, look at that. Imagine opening the fridge in the morning and seeing those two words, "Don't quit." Now, this flavor is
Yeah, I like it. I love chai tea.
Oh, let me tell you something. So our original flavors are chocolate, vanilla. Here's our chocolate. There's our chocolate. Fudgy, 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 like you can't believe. Chocolate, vanilla, chai tea, and orangesicle. They're 26 vitamins and minerals, 10 grams of protein. Now, the sugar that we have is less sugar than Boost and Ensure, and ours is pure cane sugar. So everything is natural. We got more and more doctors now. If you go to don'tquit.com, don'tquit.com to check things out. You can buy it on Amazon. We're in supermarkets now. We'll be in Walmart starting November 1st. And the cool thing is this. We have a max version of 30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar, chocolate and vanilla. They taste great. They're great for you. And it's been awesome to see the response in such a short amount of time of people sort of desperate for, hey, wait a second, convenience, right? Clean label. It tastes delicious. It's affordable. I mean, how many of us are struggling every day now, especially in this pandemic? And everything that I've revolved around my whole life has been 3 things in business: hope, health, and family. Hope, health, and family. And every part of the different products and everything I'm involved in has something to do with those 3 magnificent pillars: hope, health, and family. And that's what Don't Quit is. And the idea of you being able to, in between breakfast and lunch, and opening that fridge and saying, "Oh, I'll have a chai tea right now," or between lunch and dinner, using it as a meal replacement or a meal supplement. We've gotten so many responses from people who are doing recipes. This one woman says, "Jake, I'm doing vanilla Don't Quit pancakes in the morning." And
That sounds delicious.
people taking their chocolate original and taking a little almond butter or peanut butter and a banana in the blender, some ice, bam, oh, forget about it. Or orange-sicle, some
Forget
dates, a
about it.
banana, forget about it. I'm telling you, it's the best. But this is what nutrition, fitness doesn't have to be hard when you have the right motivation, the right inspiration, and the right tools. All of this becomes attainable and not something that's up here to say, well, I can't. Because I've always said, I want to change those words, I can't, to I can. I can afford this. I can do this. I just open it up and drink it down, or I put it in the blender. I don't need to remember how many C's, how many B complexes, 26 vitamins and minerals, 10 grams of protein, bang. Sugar is
Where
on.
can everybody get this?
Go to don'tquit.com. You can get it there. You can go to Amazon, get it there. Depending on where you're listening to us around the country, Albertson Safeway, Kroger, will be at Walmart, as I said, starting November 1st, and you can't miss it. Just ask for Don't Quit, and you're going to be very, very happy.
I love that. What would you like to say out there to all the 50-year-olds that feel like their time has come and gone? How can they bounce back and feel better than ever before?
That's such a great, you know what, Linda, I've been doing these podcasts and interviews and CNN and ESPN and Fox and everything else since August 10th. And this is the first time someone's asked me that question. I love it.
Yay.
Here's the deal. This is the beginning. Don't curl up in a ball. And by the way, look at what we're living in right now in this pandemic. This is an opportunity for you to sort of recharge, right? And maybe you have been doing it, maybe you haven't been, as you said. You're 50, you're 60, you're 70, you're 80, you're 90, you feel good. You've got a lot of living left to do. Just get your body moving, keep your body moving a little bit every day, and think good, positive thoughts. And just remember those two words: don't quit. Don't quit on you. Don't quit on your family. Don't quit on everything around you. And don't quit on this great country of ours. And you will get up in the morning with a little bounce in your step. And I would say, do something first thing in the morning. Like you brush your teeth, get a little exercise in. A lot of gyms aren't open right now, although I do hear from a lot of gym owners around the country who are trying diligently and desperately to keep their gyms and fitness centers and yoga studios clean and open. Everyone, be smart about it. But you could do so much in your house. I mean, interestingly enough, that's when the pandemic hit. Everyone started calling. Jake, you were the guy that created personal fitness training. You were the first guy to do it and made it an occupation with a broomstick, a towel, and a chair. Help. So at Official Body by Jake, we posted early on a bunch of exercise. I used my sons because they were here. Now they're all back. My youngest guy is at USC, right down the 10 freeway. My middle guy is at the University of Michigan. My oldest son is in New York City, living there. And my daughter, who I just spoke to before we came on, she's in Scotland.
I love it. Awesome.
Yeah. So it's great.
So what is next for you, Jake?
You know what? I am living the dream. It's great. I spent a lot of great time with my wife. As I said, Tracy and I, we're married almost 32 years. We're empty nesters. So it's really kind of fun. We spent a lot of great time together. Spending a lot of time on Don't Quit now. So, that's we're building a base and building a foundation. We have a little baby brand now that, although I trademarked those words in 1981, the brand is only 7 or 8 weeks old. And the product has been great. People love Don't Quit. And it's not about just being 50, 60, 70, or 80. We're crossing over everywhere. And the active nutrition we go up against on taste. Our taste is delicious. Go up against Muscle Milk and Premier Protein. We kill them. It's been tremendous, the response. And then putting fitness centers in schools. That's been a super joy of mine. And one other thing that is I actually founded Major League Lacrosse 20 years ago. and about 7 years ago launched the World Series of Youth Lacrosse, which always about kid, right? Hope, health, and family. I was watching the Little League World Series on TV for baseball about 7 years ago, and saw that little pitch of Monet Davis, and it hit me. I said, "Why am I watching this? My kids don't play." And I thought, wait a second, it brings us back to being kids. And I remember, even though I wasn't a great little athlete, well, great big athlete, I love wearing the uniform and being with my buddies and blowing bubbles. And it hit me. I said, today kids have really lost the joy of just playing outside, playing a sport. It's not about always getting recruited, right? I don't know if anybody of my friends ever got recruited, you know? And I thought, I'm going to launch the World Series of Youth Lacrosse and make it an event, make it a memory and a moment. As I call it, it's the ultimate lacrosse bar mitzvah. So, it's like, yeah, where everybody is just one big happy family. And it's gone great. And this past summer, we couldn't do it, but we're doing it next summer. And we're going to launch the World Series of Youth Hockey and the World Series of Youth Rugby for both boys and girls. It's U13. And that's that age where I say, you kind of think you're a tough guy, but you still give your mom a kiss goodnight,
I love it so much. Now, you've been married how long now?
December will be 32 years.
Okay,
so. Yep. How about you?
Well, 26.
Nice.
Yeah. So what is the secret you feel to a long and happy marriage?
Honestly, it's communication. It's communication, conversation. Tracy is a great business person and was very successful before I met her, and she could do very well without me. I've always said that, but we make a great team, and she's been extremely supportive of everything that I've done. And I've taken a lot of big shots, and you need a partner who buys in and believes, not just gives you the head nod, but really buys in. And that's what makes it fun. And we laugh, we have a ball together. We get nuts, every couple gets nuts, but we laugh together. And during this last 7 months, has been, we're all locked in, but I love being at home. I do. I love it. I mean, I'm a guy who travels a lot because of what we do, right? The last time I was on a plane, Linda, was March the 1st. I mean,
mine was February. So yeah.
Right. It's unbelievable. And, but I sit here in my office now with the launch of Don't Quit, right? I mean,
that's pretty exciting.
Did I say Don't Quit? There it is. Or there's the chai tea, the one that you love, at don'tquit.com. But I would normally be on the road right now. And I'd be doing, I'd be in Ohio and probably stop by your studio, because I'd be doing the television stations around the area.
You'd have to come by if you come to Ohio. Right? I'm stepping into more space here this month.
I love it. Look at you. I love it. The Sisterhood of Sweat. Now, tell me how long you've been doing the Sisterhood of Sweat.
Almost 7 years now.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for
and
you.
We started small beginnings, and then we went to our next one, and now we're going to expand into even more space. And my husband is very supportive, and he's definitely been supporting me in this.
Well, that's what you need. You need a great teammate, a great partner, and that's what makes it work. And that's that's the core. And for us, I mean, my kids mean the world to me and Tracy, and that's really what it's about. They've always come first in everything I've done. It's always been never missed a game, never missed. And that's the great thing about being an entrepreneur. There's a lot of challenges. You got to make things work, but you roll on your own time and your own way. And we'll never forget this. I'll leave you with this. I was training Steven Spielberg, right? It was the beginning of our relationship. And he's been a great friend and mentor to me for a million years now. We were at his house on Broad Beach in Malibu. And I asked him, I was 19 years old. And I said, man, what's it like to be rich? I mean, do you have a car payment? I said, do you like have a rent pay? I'm 19, And E.T. had come out, Jaws was out, E.T. had just come out. And Jake, he said, having money gives you the ability to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and with whom you want to do it with. And it was sort of, I remembered that. And it was the greatest thing in the world, because and I've learned from so many of these guys, all these incredible lessons. But to me, my family was the most important thing to me. And that's what I made sure. And thank goodness, I have 4 great kids that love each other. And that's the name of the game.
I love it. I love it so much. This has been such an honor to have you with us today. I enjoyed every single story. I love listening to the stories about how you built your dream and became the legend that you are today. So we just want to thank you, and everybody out there, I hope you got this message today of don't ever quit, from Body by Jake.
Thank you, Linda. See ya. Don't quit.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Bye, everybody.